Hello folks, and welcome back to the Vertigo Tea Party and Let's Play Planescape Torment. I almost said Baldur's Gate. Don't know why. Zombie bodyguard. We'll leave the corpse here. Don't need to talk to the bodyguards. Hello, zombie worker. This female corpse is dressed in a heavy burlap shirt covered with food and wine stains. Her lips have been stitched closed, and her arms and legs are wrapped in several layers of bandages. The bandages seem to have been soaked in preservatives to keep the corpse fresh. As a result, the corpse's rotting odor has been replaced with an equally repulsive vinegar smell. So, doing anything later? The zombie continues to stare at you. Alright then, great talking to you. Farewell. As you turn away, you notice Mort staring at you. What is it? Did you see the way that cadaverous beauty was staring at me? She was looking for some lucky kata to thaw her coffin. Please don't start this again. Mort ignores you and becomes thoughtful. I don't really mind the attention, actually. It's just that I like to be seen as something more than just a skull, you know? I have feelings that go beyond my base animal instincts. I want courtship, not some fortnight fling around the mausoleum. Mort, you are a skull. Nobody can help but see you as a skull. Accept it. Yeah, well, I may be just a skull, but I got a big heart. Actually, you don't have one of those. What? Were you dumped into my life to spit on my dreams and aspirations? Fine, be that way. I don't have a heart, but I do have a soul. Well, actually, I'm betting you never forget it. Let's go. Oh, that's Mort. Let's see anybody here with a name. I gotta talk to every single person. Nope. Alright. Seer? Seer the Skeptic. As you approach, the elderly woman turns and stares at you. La, look who's come a-calling on Seer today. Death's dearest son. She looks you up and down, then shakes her head in disbelief. By every power and its mother, boy. What crypt did you crawl out of? I'm fresh from the mortuary, actually. That's so. Seer raises an eyebrow. Warms my ears to hear you gave that place the laugh, boy. Not much of a watering hole for one who isn't relieving themselves. Too many cobwebs and dusty minds. You don't like the mortuary? Aren't you a dustman? A dustman? I suppose. I've seen enough sand pass through the hourglass while wearing those robes. This body is almost ready to pay the ferryman. She chuckles, but there's not much mirth in it. Are you afraid of dying? Course I am, boy. Who isn't? Well, except dustmen. They're not afraid because they've been swallowing so much of their own bad droppings over the decades, they've blinded themselves into thinking that death is some kind of release. So what sparked this crisis of faith? Life, I suppose. Never mind. I don't bore you with the niggling details. I'd like to know, actually. Oh, would you? She looks at you skeptically. How old do you take me for, boy? Truth. Old. Well, you're wrong. I'm really old. Now I've spent most of my long years teaching dustmen. I've seen many dustmen whelps grow within our order, taught them the ways of the faction, kept the faith, preached the tenets of the faction, and so on and so on. No questions, no doubts. This life was merely an antechamber that led to the true death. What happened? Well, a half-month back, I went sick with the fever. I thought it was the end. It rattled my cage. How? Her face becomes as stone. There's something about having your faction members circle around your deathbed like a pack of pale-faced ghouls, nodding and agreeing that your suffering and dying is all for the best. Oh, Seer, it's so fortunate. She shall soon be relieved of the burden of life. burden of life, that's when it struck me that there's something addled about not appreciating your life. The Dustman keeps saying that life is misery and suffering. Is it? That we should be happy to pass on into oblivion. Should we? Questions, questions, and precious few answers. Does it sound like you believe in the Dustman philosophy anymore? I suppose I have got a swarm of doubts all buzzing in my skull. Hard to get them all to be quiet sometimes. They need to be fed some answers, and I haven't got them all worked out yet. What will you do? To be square, boy, I don't know. That's the problem with doubts. I can't even trust that what I'm feeling is true, or if I'm scared of death only because my brush with the fever, or even what I should do. Is this a passing thing? I don't know. Seer, if you had truly believed in the Dustman philosophy, then your brush with the fever would not have left you with such doubt. Seer stares at you, then nods slowly. Maybe so, maybe so. I'll have to chew it over some more. You should. It's no small matter. Blah, now. Enough of me rattling on about my woes. You look like you've shared a few handshakes with death yourself. Hasn't that changed your view somewhat? Doesn't it make you appreciate life a bit more? Well, my condition is unique. I woke up in the mortuary. I think they mistook me for a corpse and were preparing to bury me. The strange thing is, I think I actually have died and got better. You're rattling my coffin. It's true. Strange are the ways of the plains, and I've seen too much to throw any tale out with the wash. If it's true, why does this happen? All I know is I woke up in the mortuary with no memory and covered with enough wounds to kill me 3 times over. Now don't be saying that too loud. Most peculiar. Never heard of anything like that. Shame about the memories. Do you have any ideas why this happens? Nay, not a one. Never knew anyone whose death wouldn't take, until now. Well, perhaps I could ask you some other questions. Questions, eh? Well, you can ask. Crypt crawler. Have you seen a journal recently? I'm missing mine. What does it look like? No idea. If you don't know what it looks like, how do you expect me to find it? I'm beginning to wonder that myself. I had some other questions. I wanted to ask you about some of the Dustmen in particular. No harm in it. Who's on your mind? Can you tell me about awaiting death? Awaiting death? That boy has half the sense of a jackass. He actually wants to die, and him so young, too. I wish death would rattle his cage. Teach him a few things. Can I ask you about some other Dustmen? Can you tell me about Emmerich? That stone-faced old fool? I taught him, you know, and I used to hold the man in high regard. Then I woke up. He's a crusty old ghoul that sits here in his off hours to make sure the younger Dustmen have a symbol of authority here in the bar. Old vulture. Actually, I met a scribe named Dahl in the mortuary. Do you know him? Dahl? He was my instructor in the philosophical arts during my early training at the mortuary, and a crusty fool to boot. He's ill, so my ears tell me. I bet he'll even bore death with his presence. Is he dying? Sicker than a spotted dog he is. Not much sand left in the hourglass for him. I met a guide at the mortuary, Suigo. Do you know him? That boy used to be a regular around here. Don't know what happened to him. Could be he was shaken up after his friend died. Explain. One of his friends was killed in the hive a few weeks ago, torn apart by rats. Messy business. Has Saego always been a guide at the mortuary? No, only for the past few months, and last I heard, he had just sent off for some missionary duty, but I don't know where. One of the embalmers in the mortuary, Iveen, do you know her? Who? A strange woman, poor eyesight, near deaf, talons for hands. Maybe she's a new initiate. I've never heard of her. I'm searching for a man named Farad. Have you seen him? Seer's face crumples into a frown. That dog! He's the worst of the collector lot. I heard he has his kips set up somewhere in Ragpicker Square, many streets west of the mortuary gates. Dangerous place, though. Some of those collectors aren't patient enough to wait for folks to die so they can sell them for jink. I must take my leave. Farewell. Don't know why I defaultly want to give old people southern accents. Because it's what I know. We can buy something from this person. This female corpse is dressed in a heavy burlap shirt, covered with food and stains and other things that we've read about. It was great talking to you. Let's leave her alone. Thought maybe we could order something. Check down here. Nope. Slowly moving west, we'll find Farad soon enough. Hello, harlots.
All right.
Good day to you. However, my penis is still tired, so I currently have no need of your services. Let's see. Those guys are moving around really weird. The hell? These guys are very weird. Oh, hey. Greetings, stranger. Looks like you're in Dark Alley Shiv territory now. Looks like you've got a purse that could use some lightening. You better pray it's got enough. I need to talk to your leader. Rotten William? Aye, I'll let you in to talk to him as soon as you let me take a look inside that purse. No way, you'll bleed first. Die, fool. Oh, you guys want some too? Let's get on the other side of him. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Don't want to get backstabbed by these fools. Here, you help me with these guys. Oh, God. Oh, wait, no, wrong button. There we go. Mike's in the damn way. Definitely do not heal much.
All right.
Here. Oh, everybody on one target. Come on, let's not split up our damage. Man, Mort's tougher than I am. What's up with that?
Did you see that?
Owned.
Done.
Seriously, why? We need to find a vendor. Mort could loot that. Because he has room for those rat tail things.
All right.
We're getting all the stuff that we can't loot. Why can't these guys just have money like that guy does? Here, Mort. Loot this rat tail thing. It's kind of hard to click on the loot sometimes.
I'm gone.
Let me see while hostile creatures are nearby.
Done.
Is there hostile creatures nearby?
Done.
See, I don't even know if this is really where we want to be. Is it? Alley of Dangerous Angels. Yeah, you know what?
Done.
We don't really want to be here. Let's head on out. I think we need to go northwest, I believe.
Done. All
Them
right.
loading times so much better
gone.
than they would have been back in the day.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
I'm not sure an easy way to regenerate health.
I'm gone.
I know you regenerate naturally over time,
Done.
but surely there's a better way. Ingress, we've talked to her, I think. Is this it, maybe? Hive Thug. Hive something. Tout. Let's look around. There's an interesting looking gentleman. Fleece. You see a man who's looking around at the buildings with some confusion. He looks lost and is mumbling to himself. Greetings. The man looks relieved. At last! I beg your indulgence, good sir. I seem to have gotten turned around in the maze of streets. He chuckles uncomfortably. I'm afraid this area of the city is somewhat, unknown to me. the residents seem most unwilling to extend aid to a visitor. Can I prevail upon you to ask me, perchance? Depends on what kind of help you need. I seek the house of my Aunt Marguerite. She is reported to dwell in a house close to the mortuary, but the street layout seems to have changed since my last visit. Do you know of the house of which I speak? I'm afraid that I have never heard of such a place. The man frowns in disappointment. I suppose it would have been too much good fortune to hope that you would know of such a place. Well, thank you for your time, good sir. It is most welcome on these streets. You're about to turn away when you suddenly have a feeling that something is amiss. Suspicious, you glance at the man again, just in time to see him withdrawing his hand from your purse. You can't be sure, but you think he might have taken something from you. Bait the man into pickpocketing you again and observe his technique. You engage the man in light conversation and secretly study his movements. This man seems to rely on two things. One, pretending to be a high-class citizen out of his element to lower the target's guard, and two, distracting the mark by having the victim point out directions. When the victim turns to point at a street or landmark, the man skims the mark's purse and tucks the item into his conveniently long sleeves. You make a mental note of his technique, just as he makes another grab for your purse. Grab his hand. Your hand snaps out and wraps around his wrist in a crushing grip. The man gives a yelp and desperately tries to yank it free. Stop struggling, or I'll keep your hand. There must be something in your tone, because he stops struggling instantly. He seems to wilt beneath your gaze. Return what you have stolen from me, now. He nods and begins to empty his pockets. He gives you a handful of coins, far more than he stole from you. The total must come to a few dozen copper commons. Give me everything else you have, and I won't kill you. Kata, that's it. Nothing more. I meant everything, so give me everything. I mean it. I don't have any more. Fine. I never want to see you again. Understand? He nods. Punch him. Make sure he understands. Your punch smashes his jaw and sends him sprawling across the cobblestone. Cupping his jaw with his hands, he groans and staggers to his feet. It looks like you knocked some of his teeth out. Now get out of here. Didn't want to fight him because I don't know if somebody else was going to help him out. No, keep saying hostile creature. Oh, him, I guess. Let's see. Let's look around. We need to find... What's his face? Seeking company, Kata. Collector, eh? This man is draped in filthy, tattered brown robes, a long hood concealing most of his face from view. Greetings. You see his eyes narrow beneath his hood, and he takes a step back. What do you want? What are you doing? I'm looking for some damn bodies is what I'm trying to do, but you think the dead powers had packed up the kip and left the plains, the way people are staying healthy and all. We had a pox last night. It was a glorious time. It was bodies stinking to the high heavens and plenty of jink to be had. Why are you looking for bodies? Well, you hauled the blighters to the mortuary. There, you talk to the dusties, haggle a little, and get a few bits of jink. Why do the dustmen buy the bodies? They gather the dead. It's their job. They pay us to cover more area and bring any bodies we find to them. Then they make sure that the blighter's body goes to its proper place or gets cremated. They're all serious about it. They're balmy philosophy, but if it just means more jink for me... What is this place? You're in the hive, of course. Dirtiest bit in all Sigil. Where you from, Kata? You from the Prime or something? No, I had some other questions. I've some for you then. Like, what did you want to know, and how badly did you want to know it? I'm looking for a man named Farad. Look around, you Kata. I don't make enough jink to go lighten up the dark for nothing. I'll take a bit of coin at will, if he wants the chance. I'll throw him 5 coppers. He studies the coins for a moment, asks as they lay in his hands. Ask. I'm looking for a man named Farad. His eyes narrow suddenly. Farad? What about him? You seem suddenly wary. Why? Farad? Huh. He spits, sneering contemptuously. Ragpickus Square is Sharegrave's, my boss's territory, you see. Farad and his dogs came in a while back and tried to oust us. We fought them off, we did, so they're all hiding in somewhere now. We still catch one of his lads now and then round the square. Usually we turn them into a quick spot of jink in the mortuary. The peckin' sods. Tell me about Sharegrave. He's my boss. Casts his shadow over a whole mess of collectors, he does. I'd stay away from him unless you got some right good cause to talk to the man. I've never spoken with him personally myself. Do you know where Farad is? I know where the rat bastard isn't. He ain't where most of the collectors call Kip, in Ragpickus Square, but that he's close by there somewhere is the chance. Do any collectors share your opinion of Farad? Let's see, he said that. I'm also looking for a journal I've lost. He shakes his head, puzzled. Farad. Alright, that's it. Well, keep yourself safe, Cutter. If I find you on the streets, I'll be kind to your corpse. In other words, he won't screw my corpse, I guess.